Quick tip when you're installing a stereo. Now this is a customer installed unit. When you hook up your power and ground, rule of thumb, yellow is constant battery generally, and red is accessory power, meaning yellow has to have power all the time, even if the key is off. Red only has power when the key is switched on, which is the wake up signal to the actual stereo. This customer had a battery draining very quickly, and the stereo was always staying on, and it wasn't actually him that installed it, it was a previous owner. Install ground, install here. We're on the red wire right now, and we have 12 volts, or we have battery voltage on this wire. Key is currently off. We should have nothing there. Check the yellow one. It has what it should have. So the fix for this vehicle will be finding an accessory voltage or an ignition voltage to hook up to this red wire. Alright, so I'm just pulling up the Sierra here in my 253 service information. So those stock stereos, they need the same wiring as an aftermarket stereo does, right? They need a wake up line, and they also need a constant voltage just so that they can store memory. So when the key is off, and then actually turn on when the key is on. So we're going to look at the radio wiring here. So after minutes and minutes and minutes of searching for this ignition wire that I was going to use, I realized it does not have one at the radio. And so I went to the description operation of the truck and of the radio to the power supply, and it says it's supplied by the fused B+ circuit. So it always has constant voltage, and then it has a separate module that monitors the ignition key position, and it actually, through a data bus, sends that information to the radio, and that tells it to turn on and off. So it doesn't actually have a turn on, turn off circuit. That's just straight from the ignition. So we're gonna have to find a wire somewhere else and use that. All right, so this is the red wire that they ran themselves to the fuse box here. They literally ran it into, adjust this. They ran it into this 20 amp fuse socket here, and it's receiving a constant power from there. So we're gonna find one of these wires in here is a ignition wire from the key. Got it. Oh, I could have just removed this whole cover and made it easier for myself. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. All right, so one of these, I bet, is going to be a key on voltage supply. So we're just gonna go ahead. All right, so I grabbed my test light to allow for easier testing. Don't have to use a multimeter for everything. So I'll just make sure we got a good ground there. I just used the body ground and it lights up. So key is off. That one has voltage with the key off. That one does as well. That one does as well. See, there's a third one here. Oh, that's all three. Okay, so those are all battery voltage. That one's got voltage. That one doesn't. Still doesn't. That one's got So we're gonna have to go somewhere else then. Oh, there's a connector down here. See that? Okay. Falling off my ground here. Come on. Stay. Okay. What have we got going on here? This isn't a wire that has to carry a whole bunch of current. It's just a wake-up circuit. Up there. No luck so far. Somewhere there's an ignition wire here. Alright, so this connector right here is going to the HVAC module here. This connector, when it has no power with the key off, turn the key on. Oh, I got a bad connection here. Okay, there we go. Key on, power, key off, no power. See, that's what you want to go to your red wire. So we're gonna splice into that wire. And we're gonna do it nicely, the way you're supposed to splice into a wire. And we're gonna hook that up to our red wire. I'm just gonna disconnect that for a sec. This wire right here. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it. Splice the wires. The reason I cut it is it allows me to just do a really good job at just making everything look cleaned up when I'm done. And this way I can actually put a piece of shrink tube over top of it, and it just looks really nice when you're done. And I really like it when wiring looks nice. Now I'm going to connect this side of my connector. Okay, here's the red wire we want. Cut that. And we're just gonna pull that whole wire out of there. And we have it. Now what I do, one goes on the bottom, so I'm gonna put, there we go. Put one in. Put the other one in. Putting both wires on that connector, essentially creating a splice. Crimp it. There we go. Now we got a good connection there. Be careful not to burn other wires while you heat shrink. You want to be quick. You can burn the heat shrink too. Quick motions like this is the key to not burning wires. There we go. Now I've got a professional connection right there. Key on. Well, I already know we did it right because it would have came on as soon as we connected it, but there it is. Stereo turns on. Turn the key off. Off it goes. And we're good. Whoops, I forgot to connect the antenna. Now, let's take the whole thing back off. Got a multi-antenna adapter. There we go. Oh, this stuff really does. If I did the stereo install, I'd do something about all that wiring, but he doesn't want to spend too much money on this. We're just gonna fix it. All right, key on. On comes the stereo. Key off. Off goes the stereo. There you have it. So, quick tip. Always make sure you hook up the right powers to your stereo or it may stay on forever and kill your battery. Have a good one.